We're gonna watch now how great is Crimson Behelit. My analysis for the new 2-star gem. It is one of the best. No cap chat.
Hello guys, Auroth here and a warm welcome back to my channel. I'm finally back with a new video. I've been having some vacation. I traveled to Kenya. I went on safari. I went to the
Nice.
slums of Nairobi. I went out to the village. And yeah, I've had a lot of great experiences and hopefully I will be able to share some more from those with you later on.
Sounds like a great time.
It's also good to be back. I've been trying really hard to find a lot of new essences because I want to release new exciting builds both for PvE and for PvP. So I hope that you guys look forward to that.
Okay.
But one subject that I felt the need to talk about today is the new 2-star gem, because a lot of people has asked me to do a video on the new 2-star gem. So this will be my take, and I'm gonna divide this video into two different segments. So first I'm gonna talk about the gem from a PvE perspective, and after that I'm also gonna talk about the gem from a PvP perspective. But let us first
So before he tells my take, it is if you are a free-to-play player or a low spender, in my opinion, it is still one of the best gems for PvE. And if you're doing PvP, it is a absolutely SSS tier gem. It does damage reduction, feared all the time, and a damage boost. In my opinion, it is completely broken.
take a look at the gem and what it does. So if we look here, I have a rank 9 gem equipped, and the name of the gem is Crimson Behelit. I don't know if it's pronounced that way, but anyways, let's read the text here, and I'm gonna give you the rank 10 numbers. So I'm gonna read out here from a rank 9, but I'm gonna read out loud the rank 10 effects. So what it says is that your Behelit activates in response to your overwhelming desire, granting you the Behelit power you seek the most. While above 50% life, dealing damage grants you Behelit's Auroth, increasing your damage done by 30% for 6 seconds. When taking damage below 50% life.
So I just want to add up that some people read these and they still didn't understood how the gem actually works, especially if you go to the Reddit. There is so many bad takes. First, people think that the fear only procs whenever like the Behelit Mercy, the reduction damage appears, which is a lie, and it was a lie that was spread by some creator, but it's not true, okay? The fear will proc whenever you proc Behelit Rat for the damage increase or the Behelit Mercy.
You gain Behelit's Mercy, reducing the damage you take by 30% for 6 seconds. When a Behelit power triggers, it releases a scream of terror at the enemy's location, fearing nearby, it should probably be fearing nearby enemies, for 1.6 seconds. Each Behelit power has its own separate cooldown, and the Behelit's Wrath has a 20-second cooldown, and Behelit's Mercy has a 60-second cooldown. So this is what the gem does, and let us also take a look here at the gem resonance effects. So first of all, you need to put in a Misery Elixir, you can put in a Cold Confidant, and you can also put in an Igneous Scorn. And on the left side here, we can see the effects that we get. And important to note here.
Man, this is a very ugly ass gem. I'm sorry. I know it's based on the manga. I know it's based on the omelet. I know, man. But it just doesn't fit at all the rest of the gems. It is weird. I watched this gem a bunch of times. It is still weird every single time.
Here is that this is defensive stats, so it will not give any offensive stats. So it will decrease the damage we take while moving, it will decrease the damage we take while suffering loss of control, and it will also increase our block chance. Let's first look at this gem then from a PvE perspective.
Okay, PvE.
The only effect that is really useful in most types of PvE content when we look at this gem is the damage increase that we get. And at rank 10, we will get 30% damage increase whenever we deal damage. And the base duration is 6 seconds. And here is something that's very important to note. This gem will not be affected by the 2-piece veto effect. So if we look at Mornskull, for example, or Roiling Consequence, those gems, they do get prolonged by 2 pieces of Vetus Urge. But the new 2-star gem does not increase from 2 Vetus Urge. And this is similar to...
This is actually the only downside of the gem. And if one day Blizzard decides to fix and put the gem just Can you guys imagine? This gem is already this powerful as it is. If in the future they make it work with V2 Surge, I feel like it's gonna go from like S tier to SS tier. It's gonna be like literally not only the Crimson Behelit, but also the Mother's Lament. Both of those gems, which they are S tier gems, they will be going to the SS tier ranking. I don't think like there are the other two gems that they actually go and do as much as that. Maybe also Spectral Glass, but Spectral Glass has nothing to do with the V2 Surge.
By 2 pieces of V2 Surge, but the new 2-star gem does not increase from 2 V2 Surge, and this is similar to Mother's Lament that is also not affected by 2 pieces of V2 Surge. What's good about the gem is that the damage increase that you get is quite high, so that's 30%. In general, it's better to have a higher damage increase for a short duration compared to a lower damage increase over a longer period of time. But the downside, like I said, is that it is not affected by V2's Urge, so it loses some score in my book because of that. What's important to mention as well is that in many cases, when we fight in a dungeon, for example, a lot of the downtime will also be during cinematics and things like this. So it's not like the gem will only be up for 6 seconds and then down for 14 seconds.
Yeah, that's like the thing that people always think is like, they always say, oh, but on the dummy, but the dummy is not the real representation of like the gameplay all the time. When you're running dungeons, there's like so many times that you just have time to recover from pack to pack, or like the cutscenes and all these things. And it also, especially in PvP, you engage, you disengage, like you go heal yourself or you die, and whenever you go back to the fight, you want to proc the fear, you want to proc the damage. I mean, like, it is so strong. And personally, I'm always like a big believer that buff gems are or tend to be better than flat gems, except if you're doing raid content where you have a big boss that you have to be doing damage all the time for a very long time, or maybe challenge rifts. Besides like those two contents, I feel like buff gems, and maybe also like if you're doing open world farming, I mean, like there's also a saying that maybe that can be. I really like whenever you have Morn Skull and the Crimson together, and maybe also some Bottle Hope, you're gonna have like this huge damage boost multiplier, which is crazy.
On average, while you're fighting, it will actually be up a lot longer than that. And it's also important to mention that you can still improve this duration through other means by increasing your beneficial effect duration. So here, for example, on my chest, I have 6% beneficial effect duration. I also have on my Reforgers duration of beneficial effects increased. I have it on all my items, so this will prolong the effects of this gem. With this being said, if we compare this gem with, for example, the Mornskull effect, it will be up to 36% increased damage. It is also affected by the Vitus Urge, and on top of that, you also deal damage by the Mornskull itself. So if I would rate this gem for PvE content, it's a solid gem. It's definitely not an S tier gem, and I would probably not even say that it's an A-rated gem. I would probably rate it around B+. So a solid, decent gem for PvE, but
okay. Personally, for me, if you are a free-to-play player or the low spender, this one is an absolute must pull, because you're not only gonna do PvE, you also gonna do PvP, right? And the universal use that there is in this gem, that's usually how I see it. What is the universal use of the gem? Is this gem like super good in one content and it's like good on the other? Then it makes it extremely good.
Nothing crazy. But this gem becomes a lot more.
I understand like the Vitus, it's not proccing. It is not ideal, obviously. But you can still, I made the math, you can still get like up to 9 seconds uptime. With the Vitus, you can get like around 11. So you're losing 2 seconds of damage. Yes, 2 seconds obviously matter, but I still think like 30% of a damage boost, it is really, really good.
More exciting when we start to evaluate it from a PvP perspective.
If it doesn't say that it is S tiered in PvP, is capping.
Well,
I'm sorry, it probably capping.
Nice as well, but the other two effects are maybe even stronger. And first we can take a look at the other Behelit effect, and that says that whenever you take damage while you are below 50% life, you will gain Behelit's Mercy, and this will reduce the damage you take by 30% at rank 10, and of course this is strifed, so it will only be 10% in PvP. And remember that the cooldown of this effect is also 60 seconds. And what I have seen is that a lot of people, they have been quite negative when they look at the cooldown. They say that 60 seconds is way too long, and also that the 10% is way too little. But I have to say that in most cases, there is no effect in the game that is totally broken. But if you can just improve your survivability by a few percentage points, that's a good thing. And if you think about it, the effect is only needed when you are in trouble. And me, for example, I play a lot of ranged class.
Yeah, it's not like you're going down like, or you play like a noob and you get killed all the time and you just suicide. Like, whenever like you're playing cautiously, obviously you're gonna probably gonna like go below 50% HP, maybe like twice per minute. But it really depends on the way you play it, right? Like if you play like a monkey, obviously this gem is, oh my god, 60 seconds.
Classes in PvP because that's what I enjoy the most. And if I play well, I'm not very often fall down below 50% life. This means that this gem will only trigger when I maybe make a mistake and I fall below 50% life, and then it will increase my survivability. And thanks to that, maybe I can get away without losing all of my life. In that way, I will also conserve.
And without losing the savior or the gladiator, which is the most important thing.
One charge of savior, so it's like a ripple effect that.
Oh my god! Listen, I love Auroth. I feel like Auroth sometimes like it just echoes what I think. Like I feel like he's one of the creators that I like the most because we like stats and we like to play the game and we like to min-max and things. And I feel like we think very alike.
Just manage to increase your survivability beyond a certain breakpoint, all of a sudden you will survive a lot better. You will conserve other survivability tools like Savior, as I just mentioned. And for that reason, I would probably say that this effect is very good. It's not broken in any way, but this is just like an extra effect that you get.
What is broken is the fear.
But the most important thing with this gem is the fear effect. So you will fear enemies whenever one of these Behelit effects activates. And this means that you can fear a target once every 20 seconds for the damage increase effect, and once every 60 seconds for the defensive effect.
And I tried this build, this gem on Demon Hunter. So I'll explain you what a lot of times happens. So I engage, I dash, I engage on a Crusader. The fear procs, and I have so much burst damage that most of the times he can actually die without even putting the bubble because he's in fear. 1.6 seconds is actually very meaningful in PvP, man. Not only that, this can actually be prolonged if you have potency and if you have 2 pieces barons or if you have the misery elixir. It's so good.
And this is good for 2 reasons. As I just mentioned, if I play a little bit sloppy and I fall down below 50% life, which doesn't happen very often, imagine if someone is chasing me and they manage to land a stun on me that takes me below 50% life. Then I will also stun them. So I will fear them and they will run away from me a little bit, and then I will be able to escape. So they can attack me, they can stun me, but then they can't follow up because I will fear them thanks to this gem. So it works very well. And on top of that, it's also great for offensive tool because, if I jump on an enemy, I will often also fear them. So it's extremely strong for PvP.
Yeah.
I would probably say that it's one of the strongest gem effects in the entire game for PvP. I've been playing this gem a lot in PvP.
I mean, like, you know that fear is strong. Just like, did you ever played against a necromancer? Like, if you played against a necromancer, you know how strong the fear is. Like, how is this even a question that this gem is completely broken for PvP? And I hope that if you are a free-to-play or a low spender, please, for the love of God, pull for this. Because, yes, you're gonna have maybe other gems that in PvE you may be able to replace. But this specific gem for PvP, I don't think we're gonna have many gems that we actually will want to replace with. It's gonna be a pillar gem for PvP, free-to-play or low spender, most likely for the next years.
PvP to try it out because I just wanted to feel how impactful it is before releasing this video, and I have to say that it's working wonders. And what's also important to mention here is that the fear itself will happen at the enemy's location. So if I play a ranged class, I can stand from a distance and deal damage, and I can fear them when they're on the idols, for example, and they will run off the idols, and maybe then someone can follow up with a stun. I can knock them up while they are not on the idols. So this way it can both work very well as an offensive tool.
I would have said that if the fear was around the target like I thought, I thought it was just gonna be like a fear for barbarians or like for melee classes. And if that was the case, that will decrease a lot of the value of the gem because the fear was just gonna be around you. And if you're a range class like a wizard or demon hunter, like the value will be very minimum, right? Unless they were like on your ass or something like that, you will not actually take a lot of advantage out of it. But because the fear is procced at the target's location and you can just like engage into them, just like shoot some arrows or something like that, is awesome. I love it.
Tool when it comes to killing someone, but also to defend the idols. So when it comes to PvP, I definitely would say that this is an S tier gem. So to conclude, this gem is very solid for PvE content, but it's very, very strong for PvP content. And I recommend everyone to get their hands on this gem. You don't have to get it to rank 10. If you can get it to rank 6 or higher, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And I really hope that you enjoy playing around with this gem. To finish off, I would like to say that I'm super happy to be back, and I want to wish you a very nice day or a very nice evening wherever you are. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you find my content useful, please subscribe to my channel as well.
Absolutely.
I'm almost up to 10k subscribers now, and that's amazing. So wow, thanks to all of you for being here and supporting me. And before we say goodbye, I also want to say to all of my clan members in Nyx, Voruk Nyx, Sholak Sol. So bye bye.
All right, chat. If you're still not subscribed to Auroth, please go there. Drop him a sub, a like. He does obviously is our boy, and he's be creating a lot of good content always, you know. So go there. He's so close to 10,000. So please go there, drop him a like and a sub. Great video.